beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. It is I, the poor doctor. I'm taking a little study break, and I'm going to dive in here and talk about women of questionable morals, aka me. I have questionable morals, according to most people. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Full disclosure, I have B12 under my tongue. These are the best. I got them from Vitamin Shop. I usually put 2 under my tongue, but it's kind of late in the day and I don't want to be bouncing off the walls, and that is what ends up happening. So if I start coughing, that's why. Just to let you all know. So I took some notes here. I'm getting better at this. I'm taking notes, getting better. Maybe one of these days I'll end up learning how to edit the video. Anyway. So let's dive in here. Women of questionable morals, aka me, the poor doctor. So, let's just start off by saying I accomplished a lot during a short period of time. I think that is a lot of hate, causes a lot of hate, from people, and by people, because I don't really go on social media, so I don't really brag about stuff. But at work, obviously, I'll bring up an accomplishment, like a professional accomplishment. Or at school, I'll bring up an educational accomplishment. Whenever it's said necessary, and I don't really realize that I've accomplished a lot in a short period of time. And that's great. That's really good, and I'm proud of myself because, I don't really have lazy days. Most days, I am go, go, go. So it's good. My hard work is paying off. But a lot of other people don't feel that way. They often get jealous, and then they spread hate. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. So, one thing I get hated on and questioned on, we all see it coming, is my eating habits. Now my mother does worry about my eating habits, as a traditional Armenian mother does, but she's a different story. She's off the hook, she can say whatever she wants. She can tell me to eat whatever. I mean, not, I don't live at home necessarily, but if she's nervous about me not getting enough protein, she's probably the one and only person that can say that, and I will not get mad. But when other people, we all know, I'm plant-based, whole foods, and I get the whole runaround. So, you don't eat meat? Do you eat cheese? Do you eat eggs? Where do you get your protein? How long have you been this way? That's not really good for you. You need to gain weight. Blah, 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 blah. And it's just I don't really care. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. This is my body. I buy the groceries. Let's put it all out there. Let's put money into the perspective, because eating whole food plant-based is really cheap. I mean, I spend less than $50 a month on groceries. And that's pretty good, and that's really good, especially now, because I'm only working part-time and going to school. So it works, and I'm not hungry. When you eat whole food, it really does fill you up. It really fills you up really quick too. So leave me alone, and stop telling me the rumor. Everybody tells, oh, you're gonna get osteoporosis, oh, blah blah blah, you're gonna your skin, blah blah blah, oh, you're not gonna be able to get pregnant, blah blah blah. It's listen, we'll reach that bridge when we get there, okay? If my physician is concerned, if my mother is concerned, I will take those considerations into I will, I'm already getting fed up. I will take my mother and my general physician's concerns into consideration, but everybody else can just go away and figure out your own life, and don't figure out mine. So there you go. That's what I always get, questions about my diet. Followed by questioning about my diet, of course, comes questioning about my exercise. Clearly, these people don't really understand. So my exercise routine, and And you have to remember that, like, when I work for like 8 to 10 hour shifts. Then I go to the gym for like a 2-hour break, and then I come home and I do my homework. And I don't like come home like that I spend 2 hours at the gym. Okay, yeah, and yes, that is a lot of time for somebody who's not necessarily like working towards, you know, I'm not trying to run the Boston Marathon. I'm just trying to be healthy. 2 hours is a decent amount of time at the gym. But you have to remember that the 2 hours I'm at the gym, that's my personal time. Like, I watch TV, I watch YouTube, I go on Pinterest, I text people. Sometimes I'm on the phone, depending on the situation, you know. But, that's my personal time, and I need 2 to 3 hours a day, like, to myself. So, when I work, usually I work 2 hours at the gym to myself, do homework, and then usually I have about an hour before I go to bed to myself. And that works. And that's one of the main reasons why I spend that much time at the gym, because it is part of my self-care mental break. And it's very, very healthy to think about it that way. And you can't see right now because I covered up, of course, but I'm very, very little. And I do develop muscle very darn quick. And I'm tiny, and I don't weigh that much. and I am skin and bones, I'm going to be honest. So when I tell people that, like, oh, I go to the gym, my goal is, so, like, I do weightlifting for, like, 30 to 45 minutes. Then I run on the treadmill or do cardio for, like, 20 to 25. And then I do, like, 15 to 20 of abs. You know, something like that. My coughing is coming on. My tea is too hot, so I have to drink my water. Okay, so, like, anyway, that's what I do. And I burn 500 calories at the gym. And that's what I was told. I've always been told to burn 500 calories at the gym. That's the number. You know, you don't have to spend 2 hours there, but you do have to burn at least 500 calories at the gym alone. And then, you know, if you go to work, like, and you burn calories that way, or you go for a walk, like, you know, that's all good and fine, but 500 calories has to be from the gym. That's what I was told. That's what my mother was told. That's what's been advertised, not necessarily on social media platforms, but by physicians. That's what's been recommended for me, from my mom. So, and I tell people that, and then they're always like, that's wrong. There's something wrong with you. You don't need to burn 500 calories at the gym. Like, that's too much. You're too little, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't know that your name had letters after it also. Like, go away and focus on your own stuff. Next one, women of questionable morals, is my job. So as y'all know, I jumped from job to job to job, and for the most part, and I didn't really do too well. I mean, I did well being a music therapist, and I'm very proud of myself for that, but I didn't do too well in the job culture. And I still don't do well in the job culture unless my boss is, like, significantly older than me and in a different stage in his life. Then it's fine. The work dynamic is fine. But if if my supervisor or higher ups are around my age, usually we end up butting heads. So yeah, so I did go through a lot of self-development, a lot of, like, doing different jobs and stuff. And also too, like, you know, for school, they don't just want you to be at one job, you know, like, in order to get into some of the programs, like, they want you to have, certain positions, certain experiences, certain research. So, like, I did have to work all those jobs for my long-term goal, school. And then also, when it comes to jobs, at least, like, in today's day and age, no one really stays at jobs for that long. I'm in a fortunate place in my life where, like, if I stay at this job for the rest of my life, I will be happy because I really like it. But I never felt that way about a previous job before. It was always, like, it was either a placeholder, it was to gain experience, or it was, like, oh, it's close to my house and it pays well. You know what I mean? Oh, it's temporary. All of these jobs were temporary, like mostly, and it's mainly because of the job in and of itself. Like when you're entry level music therapist, you don't want to be entry level for like 30 years, right? And then the other reason why was because of the money. Like, again, you can't live on an entry level salary for 30 years, you know? Anyway, so that's why I did what I had to do job wise. I did move a lot. Again, I'm in an area now where I really like it, and the job that I'm doing now, there's not that many. There's more positions than there are people. So right now I'm in a really good spot, but it wasn't always that way. And that's the thing, is I was kind of striving to find a place I called home, like found a place I was comfortable living in, found a place where like jobs are endless in the field that I want, and I'm a desirable applicant. And I finally found it. Yes, my family doesn't live close by. Yes, like, I don't really, I have a decent amount of friends. A lot of friends from my hometown actually did move around here. So, like, I do have a decent amount of, like, people and friends and support. And my parents don't live close, but they also don't live too far away. They do live a plane ride away, but that's a different story. But the point is, technically they live a plane ride away, but they can take the train or the bus if they so choose, which they have in the past. But yeah, so and a lot of people like, why did you move there? Why did you move so far? First of all, it's nothing on the Northeast Corridor is far. I mean, there's 3 different methods of transportation to get anywhere on the Northeast Corridor. And I don't know. I didn't like where I was living. I felt like I exhausted all the options and I needed a fresh start. And I think that's good to have a fresh start, especially when you're trying to establish yourself as an adult. I guess I did have a fresh start in college as well, but my goals in college were just passing my classes. I didn't really have, and graduating. I didn't really have anything that, could change in a drop of a hat, or anything that, like, other than class and graduating, which is kind of already set in stone when you go to college. I didn't necessarily have anything else that I was really working towards, all right, and the end-all be-all question, the marriage question. People always make fun of the way I say married or marriage. They say that it's like I have an accent, but I don't think I do. Everybody talks like that. At least like where I'm from. So maybe I do have an accent. But yeah, so I do get a lot of of course, because I'm Armenian, right? So like, why aren't you married? And I will be honest, I did have the opportunity in a couple of instances. But the thing is that, like, it's my life, and I want what I want, and I'm not gonna settle until I get what I want. No, duh. I mean, like, I moved a significant time distance away. I dropped my full-time job. I went part-time, went back to school. Like clearly you can tell that I'm not a settler. I'm a go-getter. So, of course, the relationship is going to be exactly the same. Like, I'm a go-getter in a relationship. I want to be treated like a princess. I want a man with X, Y, and Z qualities. Not that he has to not that I have to, like, check them off the list, but I want my romantic relationship to be a specific way. And if it's not that specific way, then I don't want to get married, and I'm just going to go find someone else until I get what I want. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, like, okay, yeah, I could have been married like a couple years ago, and like, you know what I mean, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I'm perfect, and I deserve like all of that. I deserve everything. Everybody deserves everything. Like, you deserve, You deserve the perfect life. You deserve the perfect job. You deserve the perfect man, woman, house, car. Like, and life is too short to just like settle sometimes, and especially in terms of relationships. And I don't necessarily mean romantic relationships in this regard, like friendships too. There are a lot of friendships, and it's going to sound selfish, but like a lot of romantic relationships, a lot of friendships where I was the good person and like I was good for them, but they weren't necessarily good for me. And when that happened, I mean, in a friendship, it is kind of difficult to break up for that regard. You just sort of lose touch. But when it came to relationships, I just broke up. Like, so, anyway, moral of the story here is that I have a life quote that I say all the time, and it's honestly the major enforcer of me being crazy. Well, I should say, I don't know if accomplishing lots of things, like, is that crazy? Like, or is the term crazy, I don't know, do people say that you're crazy because they are jealous of you? Like, is it supposed to be a derogatory term? Because a lot of people who have settled in their lives have called me crazy since I'm going off and getting what I want. But I don't necessarily know if, like, am I actually crazy for going off and getting what I want, or are they just jealous? I like to believe that they're just jealous because I'm just that perfect, right? Anyway, so the quote that I live by in life is, well, no, it's not YOLO. It's not life is too short. It's we're here for a good time, not a long time. And that's my quote, okay? That's why I decided to get my master's like as soon as possible. That's why I decided to move. That's why I decided to buy a house. That's why, and I'm not, like, none of these decisions are equivalent to jumping off a cliff. Like, I did my research, I took my time, but a lot of these decisions, they seem rash, but it's like, no, I thought about it. I put time and effort and energy and research into the decision. I just accomplished a lot, and I'm young. But the point is that I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. None of us do. So you might as well just go out there and try something new. In terms of music therapy, last but certainly not least, I do get a lot of people that went the corporate lifestyle and majored in finance and then found out that they didn't necessarily like it and then went off to be guitar players or painters or photographers. So I do get some people, like, because I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm sort of like, I got my music therapy degree, I did the creativeness, I got it out of my system, and then now I'm joining the corporate world for a short period of time. So I do get a lot of people like, how does that make you feel, blah, 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 blah. Music therapy just wasn't cutting it for me financially. And I could have made it cover me financially, and of course I'm going to include tips and tricks on how to, but when it came time to getting my master's, that was something I really wanted to do. That was something I didn't really have that much money to do, and I needed the return to be higher than the investment, and an MBA is one of the best master's programs where that it's not that expensive to get in certain cases, and then it's a good rate of return. So yeah, so there you have it. Women of questionable morals. Am I a woman of questionable morals? In certain cases, yes. But I don't think in any of these life decision choices. I think I'm very proud of myself. My parents are very proud of me. Nobody's disowned me, so that's all that matters. So that's how you know you're doing a good job. Okay, have a good day, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye!